Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grimm. We're back with another session of the Boar podcast. Today we're covering chapter 290. The greatness. I forgot what the chapter name is, but you guys already know what happened. I got here with me, everybody, the usual alcoholics: Fang Strizer, Griever, Nia D. Hemmings, Kishin Prime. What's going on, guys?
You good, chilling, man?
Pretty cool. I don't drink, but I do sell drugs, so I guess it evens out.
Wait, no. Before that. You're really just gonna go ahead and skip over.
Oh,
Yo,
God.
I'm done.
I
feel like I
can't
missed
work
something.
like this. I can't work like this. What kind of shit?
These working environments are stressing me out.
Honestly.
All right, guys. So this chapter was obviously actually pretty divisive when we first got in here to get ready for the podcast. We're gonna go from the top of the VC down. Could you guys give your ratings for the chapter first, and then a quick thought?
Strizer?
I'd say an 8 out of 10.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because I mean, it was kind of cool. The fact that we got some hints about Chandler and Kusai, that was cool. Apparently they sealed that magical portal for whatever reason. Maybe this is something I kind of thought. Maybe they were just originally like one being, and that's why they don't have like, for example, they didn't like the one that was before them, right? Kind of like Nameless the Making thing, where it's like he didn't know who to like teach. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna split it into two and just teach Bowman Luras and his brother is Zell." So maybe that's the case. Otherwise, I really don't see why they would seal out their powers. That really make too much sense to me. And I like the fact that Merlin, it's kind of emphasized again and again that power levels, while they do matter, they don't really matter all that much when you have a broken ability like Infinity. And also, ESCANOR was fucking funny. I don't know when he was hiding behind Merlin, or basically be like, impossible, I can't do anything. So that was pretty cool. But, good chapter.
Grief.
I give a 7 out of 10. And it's not because the hype of the last couple chapters is watering me down or anything. It's just that for me, nothing really crazy happened. Like, it wasn't a bad chapter. It was pretty good. It's got its flaws here and there, but overall, like nothing eye-opening happened. So I can't say that it was a great chapter because it was just a chapter. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah. For me, it was fun. I like most chapters. I enjoyed it. I mean, but that first reaction, you know how that goes. I like that not Chandler, but Cusack. Fuck you with the names. Cusack actually finally did something. I even made the joke because he's not done a damn thing. Mostly because of what I said in the last podcast. So, but yeah, got to see what he could do, and Merlin's face at the end, just that, and that's about it.
It's like a 7 out of 10 for me. Kind of agrees with Griever. It's not that it was a bad chapter. It just didn't feel like nothing crazy. There were no big revelations or anything crazy like that. It was just kind of like some fighting, and then obviously we're gonna get into this later, but more Merlin nonsense. We need to talk about her and how she's being written and how she's fucking nonsense and she's literally a game shark. We're gonna talk about this today because I've been ignoring it for a while because sometimes it's fun, but this is depending on what happens next chapter, this might actually start to be getting annoying. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know what that ape was saying before me. I was kind of sleeping, but I will say that this chapter was pretty good. 7.5. I can't really give it an 8. I do agree with Nia. I do agree with her one who gave like a 7. This chapter really didn't have anything too crazy. But at the same time, I did enjoy it a lot more only because I never get to see Merlin do anything. Not only that, but Cusack can dick since he had Arthur do the whole piercing shit. I'm still not over that, so he can go ahead and fucking get axed for all I care. There's a lot of discourse earlier about a lot of the revelations on some of the abilities used. We're gonna get into that later, so I'm not blow up on anyone yet, but we'll see. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. I'm actually really, really hoping that next chapter we get to see a lot more magical attacks.
I actually enjoyed this chapter a lot, just like you guys. I found a lot of the review. There weren't too many reviews, like Griever pointed out, but I'm not gonna go as far as to do chapter 7. I thought it was an 8. First, because Lord Rudisil was putting in that motherfucking work. Lord Rudisil was putting in that motherfucking work, bruh. Against an invincible demon. Invincible demon. He's sitting there toe to toe with that nigga, bruh. Toe to toe with that nigga. See, he got, his titties are sticking out a little bit. His bra is covering himself a little bit. Things like that happen in a sword fight. Those are things like that are gonna happen. But I'm giving it an 8 because first that, and Chandler was pretty impressive. To me, he's been almost factually, I think he has the most spells, or he's shown the most spells as an individual character, more than any other character. So that was badass when he first showed up. Zeldris giving them hype like this, I know we're gonna get into it a little bit later on, but I'm a little upset with what the fuck is going on with those two characters and how this trash translation may have portrayed what was going on. So once again, we're gonna have to wait for another iteration and shit. We do it all the time, and hopefully, guys, we're gonna get to the point where we don't have to fucking do a podcast on some trash ass translation. But I'm also upset with Merlin and Kuzak and Chan. Let's get into it, bro. What's on your guys' mind, freelance, and then we'll go through the chapter.
I'm in agreement with your problem. Oh, I don't know what your problem is exactly with Cusack and Chandler, but I kind of think that they're cool, but I never thought that they were greatly handled. I didn't even like how they were introduced like that. I felt like there was no real warning. Like it came out of nowhere. Like, oh yeah, there's two really strong demons. Because it came at the point where it's like, yo, the commandments are kind of getting washed, and they're kind of going down. Like, yeah, we got these two guys that took a long time to get the seal. They're here now, but they're like really strong, and they trade melee with the Elders. I'm like, okay, what? Like that.
Yeah,
like,
that was kind of an asshole. I agree.
That came kind of left.
Yeah, but then again, if you really think about it, if you elevate the manga, you kind of need that. I mean, how much of an asshole is Redis coming to your work and being like, "Hey, go, you're actually Kakura, my brother." You know what I mean? So you kind of need to have that sort of.
That was 18 years ago.
I want to say that because like ass pull is not a word that I use. I'm just using that to as a blanket term. It's not a word.
Yeah, sure.
But all I'm saying is just that the way that they were introduced to me kind of just came out of left field. I didn't particularly like it. Like I don't have a problem with them being there. It's just kind of I was just really, you know what I'm saying? Like the raddest thing is this because Toriyama's a hack. Like he just writing shit up as he goes. Like that's different. I'm holding the Baka to a different standard. I'm not holding him to Toriyama.
Agreed.
And you can't compare things written in the 80s. Like there's a different standard of quality now.
I disagree completely.
There's a different standard of quality. Because for example, in anything, there's always a quality standard. For example, that's like comparing the special effects of the 10 Commandments movie from the 40s to the new one today. You can't do it. That's not fair. That was the times. The times are different. The way a story is written is different.
So what?
Everything's changed.
I disagree. Yeah, you can. Why not? And just point out who
because I don't bet that 8-bit graphics are shit compared to today's PS4 graphics. I don't compare.
Nah, that shit is superior.
Yeah,
sprites are superior.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what I'm saying.
Video game references get back.
Exactly. No. But what I'm saying is,
I'm just a dinosaur. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. But you don't compare that. What I'm saying is, you can't compare apples and oranges. You want to compare current running shonen to current running shonen, go right ahead. But you can't take something. You can't compare things like that were written 30 years ago to things written today.
Yes,
the genre has changed. The genre has evolved, and without those history, without things like. Dude, that's like saying Game of Thrones is better than Lord of the Rings. Without Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones would never have been written in the first place because it established the fantasy genre. So you can't say something's better than what helped create it. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, but then again, by your own very logic, Dragon Ball is the best series ever. You can't compare anything to it.
No, not at all. You can still.
Yes, that's exactly what you fucking said though. Because you can't compare Game of Thrones to Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings created that shit, so you can't compare it. You can't say Game of Thrones is better. That's exactly what you fucking said.
You can't, but you can't say, okay, so Dragon Ball Z pulled that stunt, right? Dragon Ball Z pulled that stunt. So we all agree
the
that
Dragon Ball manga did.
yeah, that's a stunt that they pulled. So you can't say that right now in Seven Deadly Sins. Getting back on topic to that, if you repeat a mistake that was already made in a previous series, what are you doing? You don't
Why
you
is
take
that a
the
mistake,
good
though?
things.
That's actually my argument that just an overall
Why
general
is it a mistake?
for Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball is like the mother of like this generation of manga. Most of these stories take tropes from Dragon Ball in particular. Even One
Of
Punch Man.
shonen bottom manga, not
Yes.
all manga.
Yeah.
Right,
Shonen Battle
right.
manga. One Punch Man in particular is a satire series of things like that. So my stance is that whenever you have a series that did something and people are taking from it, it's their job and duty to expand upon it and make it better. So if Dragon Ball does a
Right.
trope that we may not like at a certain point, everybody's job is to expand upon that or make it better. That's what they've been doing. So that's why
Right.
I don't take the old Dragon Ball and compare it to the new things now. Not because it's bad, but because these guys have had the chance to do better than you. They've looked at your work and improved what you can do.
I'm actually in agreement with Strizer because I could name you like movies that age really well that withstand the test of time, and there's tons of things that are like beautifully written from like the Victorian era and stuff like that too. I don't think you can't not compare them because they're old and some are new, but like I get what you're trying to say though. I understand where you're coming from, but yeah, like I'm more in agreement with Strizer because I get what he's saying. Like, of course you can still compare them. Like you can compare Dragon Ball to things today, not just because it's older doesn't mean you can't, hold it to the same writing quality. Because some shit that come out today are like really watered and dumbed down.
Well, then
And
let's
Yeah,
get to
I
the
agree with that.
hold on.
Grimm is-
Let's get to the exact arguments because we got to get back on topic. We're addressing whether we think that how they displayed Chandler and Kusak's abilities is in appropriate correlation with their position in the story. I think Fang and Naya don't have a problem, or not. Fang doesn't have a problem with it, but some of us don't. Fang, could you elaborate as to why you think what they've done with Kusak and Chandler is just fine?
I mean, well, I don't really see a problem with it necessarily. Just because you don't have any foreshadowing, like, okay, so what would have been better? Let me just ask this: if in chapter, I don't fucking know, 200, right? Or just fuck it, like 50 chapters before they debut, you have Zeldris saying and Staros talk about, have our masters been, are they still asleep yet, or something like that. If we had that, like one small bit of foreshadowing, would it have made everything better and erase the thing that you think is a mistake? Personally, I don't really get it. It makes sense for them to. It makes sense for the Demon King, for the Demon's Army to have some veterans that don't only fight, and it makes sense for Bob and Zelos to have had a master per se. I don't really see what the problem is. If you have a problem with how strong they are or how they have portrayed their abilities, that's another thing. But I'm talking simply about the introduction into the story. And yeah, it comes out of left field. Let's just word it like that. But it doesn't mean that's necessarily bad. That's my
I
thing.
don't want you to misunderstand the point, right? Because like having Zeldris and Melus have a teacher, that shouldn't make sense. That was my issue. I just thought like the way they were introduced, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know about that. And like, yes, I would have preferred to have the foreshadowing, but it makes sense. But that wasn't really my issue because like I could think of like Reborn, right? When they introduced that old dude who just like, oh yeah, like I made all the rings. He just came out of nowhere. It's like here's like the Vongla gear, like just put your dying wolf flame with this shit. And I was like, what? Like that shit just came out of nowhere. But like a guy who obviously somebody had to have made their ring, so like it didn't not make sense. It's not ruining the story for me. I'm not like, oh, these guys are trash because they exist or because they're introduced. I just didn't like how they were handled initially. I'm fine with where they are now. I don't know how I feel about how powerful they are. We'll see. Like that remains to be seen. Like it's a little too early to judge. But for me, most of the time, I like when a character like that is introduced and there's a little bit more of a warning for it. That's really all.
Yeah.
My biggest arrow against this is that because it stabbed me in the side and it continues to stab me in the side for every time we get to it.
That threw me off for a second.
Like it's like an arrow in the knee.
Talking about green arrows.
I got an arrow in the knee right now, bro. It's their power level. Like they've made such a strong emphasis that these people are the leaders of these forces. Zeldris is the rep of the Demon Clan. He's the leader of the Commandments. Meliodas used to be the leader of the Commandments. Meliodas is Salt Mortar strong as fuck. Fucking ESCANOR has the one form. Fucking Brutus is the leader of the Archangels. Why are these two niggas that are stronger than them, quote unquote, or were stronger than them? Because I guess we got an asterisk with Rudy Sir not having his real body and whatever else we want to give the asterisk. Where were these guys in terms of the balance? Like the numbers make sense. 10 versus 4 makes it equal. Sure, we can accept that to be equal. But now you have two more bandits that were underneath the Demon King, and you just kept them back for reserve bid. Like that's my position. That they give explanations of power at points that like are super opportunistic. If you would have told me that in the beginning and showed me that in the beginning, not have Chandler lose to King, and those guys or whatever, and then have him fucking like that's basically it. Like if they didn't support their strength throughout the story, and this seems like an influx.
Don't they come out the seal weaker and have to eat souls to get stronger and shit like that? Isn't that like when they first came out the seal, they needed to like eat souls to regain their power?
Yeah, that's
Even
number
though
one.
Chandler
But think about
ran straight over to Meliodas and kind of turned everything dark, right?
yeah, but that's because they're so powerful. Now, let me ask you this: if this were the case, would you be okay with it? Because it goes into a thing that we don't know that much about it, but Chandler and Cusack might just be some demons that were able to overcome this particular thing. What if they're Indras and somehow, managed to retain their form? I mean, as in not go insane like we saw with fucking Mons Pia and Derieri.
That is consistent. In that translation, we were told that there are other Indras in the demon world. But I'm not sure how much we should disassociate the insanity part with that.
Because I mean, there must be, I'm thinking, some kind of a cost. So maybe because they have, like, it's mentioned in the show that they have the original magic power sealed. Maybe it's sealed because they became Indras, and that's why they became so powerful, so tough, and so fast. That might be the case. And of course, Chandler has his spells. Cusack is like, extremely fast with his two swords, like we see in the chapter. So maybe they does. So let's just say, if this is the case, would that be okay with you?
I don't know. I kind of feel where Grimm's coming from, where it's just like, it just didn't seem consistent. It almost feels like Nabaka either didn't think it through all the way, or just hit it, like just didn't want to show it. You know what I'm saying? It's like how I feel about like hockey's representation in Marine Corps, where it's like, did you have this fleshed out, or did you just not know what to do, which is why you kept using fucking exposition every time it was used? You know what I'm saying? So.
You know what it was? It's because it's close to the Christmas season, because all of a sudden you get an original magical power and you get an original magical power. Everybody gets an original magical
Just
power.
check under your seat.
We've literally been introduced to 4 original, like, that's the problem with these chapters. The problem I had with when Zeldris was revealed, it was the same deal. I talked about that before, is that it happened too close to Meliodas. All of a sudden, full counter is something you learn from Chandler. He has a power. Wow, that's a good reveal. But then having Zeldris pull the same thing 2 chapters later, and now 4 or 5 chapters later, Chandler and Cusack doing the same thing. Like, it's running out of content.
It's time for Merlin's original magic power.
Merlin's original magical power. Infinity was a granted
I don't want to
thing.
hear. I don't want to.
Oh
okay,
my God.
Okay, stop. Okay.
That's
You know
funny.
what? I've been holding my tongue. The whole stream. But now I'm hearing y'all talk shit about Merlin.
We're not even there yet. Relax.
ESCANOR
Not
will
even
not
there.
stand for
We're
this.
still
Yes.
on the Cusack thing. But Grimm, anything else you want to say about that? I cut you off. My bad.
That's okay, man. It's just
Griever.
not like Grimm's right. I kind of agree with Grimm there with the inconsistency with the power scaling, with the power levels. It seems like the scaling's off. Like we talked about the introduction, Chandler and Cusack, I like them as characters, and I think it makes sense that they have teachers. But at the same time, the way they were introduced, once again, we talked about a comparison to Raditz thing. It's kind of like, well, now you should have improved that. Like, you shouldn't copy it when it was done like bad one time. You should try to improve on that because you saw that it wasn't a good thing to do, and it was handled kind of poorly in their first introduction. Then from then on, we've had this inconsistency with their power and their scaling, and it just seems like I like them as characters, and I'd like to see them fleshed out and all this, but at the same time, it seems like they're jumping all over the place. The balance is off, you know?
Fang, were you gonna say something?
No, actually, I'm not gonna get into it again. I was about to bitch about the whole Reddit thing, because no one actually told me like why was that actually a bad thing.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, because like, why was the introduction of Reddit a bad thing necessarily? Like, why?
Well,
Why is
I
that
don't think it.
considered
I don't think it was.
bad?
I don't think it was a bad thing. I just said Toriyama's a hack. He's just writing the story as he goes. He's not.
Yeah.
It seemed like a
literally-
major jump.
He makes me laugh because he openly admits like, oh shit, like I forgot that saying
yeah.
kids had
I
kids had
forgot
tails.
launch was here.
yeah,
I
like-
forgot,
yeah,
you know.
like that's what I didn't think it was a bad thing because I like the Saint Saga and the Frieza Saga. I don't know problem with it. It's like
It was.
Look
I
at
think
you could think of something after the fact and make it work. It's just sometimes it's not always as seamless as it could be because it's like okay, like sometimes you get to like you didn't think about this before, or maybe you didn't fully think about it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Let me just say it like this because I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. I believe in this story more than I believe in One Piece in terms of cohesiveness. I believe that this author has this
Well,
story
yeah, no shit.
from A, B, C, and D. It's completely connected. I believe that. That's what I was shown and told. So when I see things that are not that, I get like not upset but anxious because I have like, bro, I boost the story up to be the best top 5 stories in shonen right now, bro. Like I really believe that shit. And whenever we get little hints and stuff,
absolutely.
it bothers me because I'm like,
if you're talking about current ongoing, yeah, I can give you that.
Yeah,
yes,
current
yes.
ongoing. I'm right there. It's top 3.
yes,
Easy.
current ongoing, yeah. That's why I get like I like
I
to
don't know,
pick at
ongoing, yeah,
stuff.
it's my number 1 actually.
Facts, yeah. But please, viewers, don't think that I'm picking at it or anybody else is like too emphasized on it. Like these are just things that we're noticing. We're in love with this shit still. Like these.
I don't criticize if I have no expectations, I won't criticize it. That's why I don't
Exactly.
criticize Super because it's fucking retarded.
You only criticize something. He's right. You only criticize something because you're passionate about it, and you don't want something you're passionate about to have mistakes, in your opinion. So that's why you criticize. If you were going to criticize something you didn't care about, why are you even criticize? You wouldn't even read it. Then you wouldn't criticize it because you wouldn't bother reading it because you don't like it.
Like I said,
So-
I hold him to a higher standard. That's why I was like, I don't know about that one, Chief. You know?
Yeah.
True. All right.
Exactly.
So let's progress along the chapter.
Yeah, but let's keep it moving. Yeah, keep it moving.
Yeah. So as we go panel by panel,
My opinion.
didn't we ask you? Yeah, we already asked you.
No,
Asked
you
about your
didn't.
shit,
No, you
man.
didn't. Come on.
Hell, nigga.
Dude, you're gonna have a 20-minute rant about
probably not
Merlin.
gonna have a
So
rant
we're
on
just
this.
gonna.
All right. So
It's
in
alright, 'cause I'm tired of
in
doing whatever you guys go.
so we start with the cover page. I don't know if this guy's important to you guys, but there's a mysterious night. Okay, so I guess they're just looking at the dark zone. Is that what you guys think it is? On the
Yeah.
cover page.
Could
Yeah.
be.
That's
Probably
clearly what
Camelot.
it is. It's
Probably Camelot.
yeah.
Okay. Because at first I was like, is that a mysterious like dark being that's bringing darkness too, or like?
No. It most likely that was Chandler, like invoking the night.
Which is fucking. I think it was Griever who initially mentioned that like it's probably a time space a spell that literally turns that area into actually nighttime. So that's why I was looking.
So the Vampire King.
Oh shit! That's right. Speculation. All right.
Oh,
Check this
no.
out. Check this out. So ESCANOR, whenever ESCANOR was fighting Gauther fucked with his brain and he made him see Merlin. When he saw Merlin, that was the equivalent of the sun to him in his psyche, and it brought out his power.
So corny.
Now
Yeah.
it was higher.
I love it though.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It
love
was lovely. It was awesome.
Badass. This nigga can pull out fucking sunshine whenever he wants. This fucking
It was
sun
Probably
shit.
very limited.
This
Limited.
is hold on.
Unless he trains.
Hold on. This is my
Only for
thinking.
a second.
This is my thinking. Then tear me apart. I'm thinking that this shit doesn't like.
He has
If,
more.
if he
control
can
over the
if he can bring it out,
it.
he should be able to bring this out whenever he wants, and that should tell us something about what sunshine is truly about. Because we already know that his body changes because he cannot fully handle it. That's why he gets bigger. That has to be why he gets bigger. Mayo has never been shown to get bigger. So I'm thinking he's getting bigger because the power is so great. The greater that the power is, the greater he has to be to hold it and to do his thing
So his
with it.
body is compensating for it.
Whatever words we want to say, sure. Let's use that, compensate for it. So if he can pull out his shit whenever, and this nigga just pulled out Night, and in the flash that we just got, whenever the memories came, he's back in this form. Did somebody absolute cancel the Night, or is ESCANOR picturing Merlin? Did Merlin do something catastrophic? Like, we just got this chapter, looks fucking beautiful, and next chapter is that gonna fucking make ESCANOR see her in the most beautiful light and then come back to his form?
But with Galther, doesn't he like
Well, I
for
think
real make you
we
visualize
have
it?
like
Hold on. Didn't Merlin
Hold
just...
on.
Niggas, let's talk about no, hold up, bro. One at a time. Naya, then Fang, then Zorso.
okay.
Y'all
I'm
niggas
saying,
hype, hype.
Okay, go ahead. What's the wash you?
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. As you know. Naya.
I said I was going to the washroom.
Oh, you from the art. Go ahead, Fang.
Oh god, this one's off the rails, isn't it?
Okay, fuck it, I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, so two things I can picture happening, right? That's number one. Maybe they'll get there's not to like get their memories back, or maybe Belieros will awaken or something, and Chandler for whatever reason will just like dispel his darkness. Now that's but what I think will actually happen is this, because keep in mind in this chapter, Merlin told Escanor, go to your divine axe Rita, because remember, and we said this in the Vampires of Edinburgh. Escanor in his bitch boy form can't even like move it, so he has, you know what I mean. And I don't think if he calls it like he does when he's buff, it's not gonna go to him. So he has to go to it, because remember the divine Ashrita has that ability charge on fire, which kind of made a miniature sun when he used it, and that whole tournament versus Ghoster. So maybe his small sun will repel the whole shadow night dimension that the challenge involved, basically.
Like it did with Esterosa?
That might be the case.
It literally did that against Esterosa. And he's like, my darkness cover yours. Who said that, nigga? Who said that? Zarso, what you was about to say about the... What's up, dog?
That was it.
Yeah.
Well,
He's speechless.
Yeah, he kind of just went into so.
Like Grimm, I already trying to say, like, I already kind of like saw through like most of this conversation, and I was just gonna, but yeah, it's just.
Oh, you saw through it, huh? Oh, you saw through it, huh?
kind
Oh
of.
shit, Eisen-sama.
Oh.
What's up?
Oh no.
You want to do your impression
I'm
that I
not-
already
I'm
know
not-
what was gonna happen.
I know, bro. I'm just.
I'm not that cool. But it's like, I mean, I was
You're not
gonna
cool
say
at all,
that.
just so you know.
Oh shit. I mean, guess I'm not cool either. Goddamn.
All right.
But yeah, like that was it.
The next part we got was Rudisill and Chandler. So Chandler has these, like, I guess, blades that he can not
Cusack.
No, Kusa. Kaksa.
Oh god.
So he's got these blades that I guess he can add darkness to, and that's how he was able to extend them earlier. Because I didn't see them before. I don't remember these handles anywhere, so that's badass. And then he has laser vision, which is even crazier.
Oh, that was awesome. I forgot about that. That was super dope.
And then they went hand to hand. So apparently he's labeled also as the teacher of the greatest warrior, or the fastest warrior in the demon realm.
That makes sense if he's his teacher.
Yeah, my favorite thing, actually, something that I forgot to mention in the intro, was the headbutt. Like, that dude gave
I always love
Lucian
headbutts.
a fucking concussion. Like, that looked like it hurt. And also, when fucking Hendrickson was like, Ludosho-sama, Gilsander is injured, Yamcha's down. He was like, I don't have fucking time for that shit.
Oh yeah,
That was really funny.
It's like, I'm kind of busy.
That should have me offended. I was like, your dumbass literally
Galther is
killed.
fucking dead.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
Oh
man!
my god.
It's
Trash.
damn, bro. It's
Why are they even there?
That's I said this. I swear I said this like 4 weeks ago. They were just in the way.
They are literally there to be in the way.
I mean,
I would think
They're not even.
if
They're
they
not even there to
removed
do the
his
like
breastplate.
the exposition thing. Like, oh my god, they're moving so fast. I can't. They're not even there for that. They're
yeah,
unconscious.
they're not.
they're just in the way.
But you know what? They are laying it on so thick that Hendrickson or Gil Thunder is going to be taken over. They're laying it on thick that Margaret's body, like even in this chapter,
Yeah.
Cusack basically says,
yep.
"Oh, is this the extent of that human vessel?" Rudisil. And I'm like, oh, see, they're laying it on that one. It's either Hendrickson or Gil Thunder. Now, right now, Gil Thunder's.
Oh, Grimm, now you want to talk?
No. Listen to this, bro. I'm fucking with Gil Thunder instead of Hendrickson because this guy's out here sporting fucking Sario coming back to Hauser.
here, trash.
Okay.
Don't. You can't.
Bro, I can hop on the bandwagon. I can hop on it. I can hop on it, bro.
No, you can't.
I can do it. Yeah, I can.
You're gonna call the game.
Guild Thunder has been the most badass nigga since page 1, bro. If he gets Rudiseo as well,
4 weeks ago, called the game. 5 weeks ago,
Yo, my dude played Change of Heart, dog.
Yo, oh my, exposed. Excuse me, Grimmy. Listen. If either one of them, right, becomes the new vessel, you have no room to talk. I don't want to see that flash on your. Yeah, I swear to God, if your name changes on Discord,
it's gonna be Lightning Flash.
No,
it's gonna be Guild Flash.
This could really.
It's gonna be Flash Thunder.
Even after
Thunder Flash.
Yeah, Thunder Flash, because Thunder comes before the Flash.
Gay Flash confirmed.
Yeah, Gay Flash. That's
Grace Thunder, bro. You already know, dog. When that shit is gonna be Grace Thunder. Oh.
Well, at least it'll make more sense. A gay
Place
guy
your
going
bets
into
in
a
the
man's
comments on
body.
what the name will be.
'Cause right now, it's just sad. So.
All right, so.
But what if he possesses the both of them?
I don't see that happening.
That's
I don't. I was just fucking
that's a bit. I'm just saying, sheesh.
Well, Ludesh, he loves himself so goddamn much. Maybe he will bone himself if he could split himself into 2 fucking people. So
I wasn't gonna go that far, but I would say that. Yeah, Froderick did technically pull that off with Hauser. No, not Hauser. With Dreyfus and Hendrickson back in the day. So technically, it's not completely out of the question that can happen.
Mm-mm.
But it would
So
probably
it's
even if he could do it, that would split his power. That'd be like the multiform technique or something. You're half in your power sort of idea.
I don't even think that's the case, because if anything, all he needs to do is be inside one body and then manipulate the other body mentally. And it's like, if Froderick can do it, Ludishel should be able to do it at least. But then, again, there's like hypothetical shit. This ain't even chapter shit yet. So.
Can we move on from that and talk about Cusack and what he was talking about with Zeldris?
Go
or
ahead.
are we still on that?
Yeah,
I like that part.
Let's actually read that dialogue. Wait, where is the dialogue?
I'll pull. I had.
When he's like,
oh, here
the
it
part
is.
where, that one part where he's like, "Yo, show me the power of like the strongest demons," and he's like,
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna
It says,
surpass me. Don't forget that." I was like, "The goat, so just the goat."
So he says, Zeldris-sama, please have some rest and let us take care of things from now on. Yes, I'm counting on you, says Zeldris. And he says, do not let anything disturb Meliodas. Cusack, show me your abilities. Show me the power of the strongest demons. Stronger even than the 10 Commandments. As you wish, but don't forget that you are destined to surpass me. To surpass me. And
So
then
that tells me right off the bat. That tells me that currently Cusack and Chandler are probably stronger. They just, for some reason, like they hold that. It's like that whole retainer thing. It's the weirdest thing.
Hashtag check the translation. Hashtag check the translation.
True, but I'm of the firm belief. Remember, like he taught him swordsmanship and all that stuff, and he is older. Like to me, I think this is one of those things like Rurouni Kenshin, where you have the master, but it's not his job to fix his students' problems. Like he's just the mentor. At the end of the day, he will assist, but he's not supposed to take the spotlight. Like it's just not built into him. That's not his job. That's not what he's supposed to do anymore. He's there to assist and all that shit, you know? Like at least that's the way I'm looking at it. Like he knows, like even if he's stronger than Zeldris right now, it doesn't matter. He probably always was, but he's not the one to be the Demon King. He wants his protege to be the Demon King. He wants to help him to get stronger. He doesn't want the power. He wants his protege to have the power.
I don't think he can.
So,
limit.
exactly. I don't think he can if he wants to. So he knows this limitation. He goes, it doesn't matter how strong I become. You are the one who has the capacity to become Demon King, not me. So let's help you along, sort of idea. Like right now, I think it's confirmed that Cusack is stronger.
What y'all boys think about that?
What were their power levels last time we saw? Was this higher or lower than Shamla?
Like one was like
Lower.
170. Like what? Like
It was
No,
5,000 lower.
173 for, I think, Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler was stronger.
171 and 167 were the numbers. So
Okay.
Cusack was like 4,000 weaker. But right now they even said, okay, their powers are changing or something. Once again, check translation, as Grimm said. but they did say like, okay, original magical power, you get one. So maybe like their power is going to skyrocket again or something, because if Rudesiel at 201 apparently couldn't touch him. So
I could see why you would say that, but I just feel like from what I can see, it looks like Cusack is more of the close combat type, and then Chandler is more of the magic type. So that's kind of how I took it. So.
Yeah, we got DPS and we got fucking in a tank or a mage. Yeah, so
that's kind of how I saw it. But I mean, yeah. But like what I like about it is just showing the potential of the Sons of the Demon King, how strong they can be, and how they haven't even hit that ceiling yet. They got a long way to go. That's dope.
Let's
like,
hope we don't have
how much stronger are they gonna get? That's kind of crazy.
I like that, but my problem with it is that like I'd be more happy with it if we knew that this arc seems to be one of the last ones. I hate to say it, but it's like
you whenever
like,
you see it, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so like if this was the midpoint, I'd be like, you've still got a ways to go. I'd be like, yeah, I'm hyped. I'm excited to see what that's, as you said, what the ceiling is, and watch Zeldris and Meliodas break through that ceiling, sort of idea. But now, I don't think we're going to get the right amount of development to see it happen over good pacing, at least.
Fanboy stuff aside, what did you guys honestly think about how Nakaba chose to depict the sword fight between Cusack and Rudisill? I don't think I've seen a panel like that before.
Oh, dude, fucking beautiful.
That shit,
I was confused.
I wasn't. That was fucking amazing.
Could you elaborate, bro?
Yeah, I mean, it just, look, in my opinion, it just perfectly displays that quickness that was kind of lost in the second season of, like, Revival of the Ten Commandments, where you all of a sudden just have, like, Bond getting cut in half, or Diane just, switching form and trying to attack God. And you just have these really quick, movements that are seemingly doable in manga, because again in the anime we had to see Merlin cast a spell, Diane grow, grab her fucking hammer, and then attack her.
That sequence, absolute cancel, magic teleport, bro. That's.
but again, it doesn't have that quickness from the manga. It just doesn't have that. So it kind of loses at many levels, and also. When it comes to the anime, they kind of fucked up some of the art, like especially in the Bam versus Garan fight, where the art was like, especially when Ban went all, was powering up, that was like, Well, in the manga, that looked fucking amazing, like the art. So that's kind of. But when it comes to this, again, I liked it a lot.
What I'll say is, I think it was necessary. It was good. It's a good thing to show that little like speed battle with the swords kind of thing. It was cool. I don't think it flows as well as it could have. The composition is a little off because there's just so much happening. But I think it was a good panel because like you don't usually get many panels like this for Taizai, or a page like this. So for this to be the outlier because you're trying to show like a fast sword battle, it works. It's fine. But usually I don't like when a page is this cluttered like that because the composition is off. But it's fine. I like it. It was good.
This is like.
Headbutt was raw, by the way. That was raw.
The headbutt was awesome, and once again, Cusack unscathed. So fuck the Grace Flash, Grimm. It has done nothing. It has literally done nothing but I will speed blitz you. No, you won't. I'll speed blitz you. No, guess what? You won't. Like literally, that is what has happened.
Bro,
I've never seen
Go ahead.
Never seen something hyped up so much only to literally fall flat compared to everything else. Even Ocean and Tornado look cooler than Flash. They actually did something. They did something and it's still.
Keep going.
Keep talking shit. I have to say this.
No. Let me defend Flash. I'm gonna get in your ass. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Fang. Go ahead first.
What are you gonna do?
All right. Listen to this, bro.
Oh yeah.
This is. Hold up. This is the same. Zarso, hold on, bro. This is the same motherfucker who told me that King was getting bodied the entire Stigma fight. This is the same motherfucker who told me that King wasn't gonna do shit the entire time. This is the same motherfucker who stayed quiet when the Fairy King became the strongest nigga in 7 Deadly Sins. And I made a whole full video of where King by himself is holding off a nigga with 3 commandments. Where King by himself is leading the charge against a nigga with 4 commandments, bro. That's what the shit that I'm talking about. So whenever this fight's over and we collect all the panels, I bet $100 that Brutus Hill will have displayed the most things out of anybody here. I will bet $100 that. Just so far right now, Brutus Hill has done the most out of all niggas, bro. I can't even name it. Shining Ruby, the Sanctuary shit, the shit he did last attack, the spells that he was catching in the beginning, bruh. Arc swords, bruh. Automatic healing, bruh. Don't tell me Rudisil hasn't done shit, bro. Go reread the past 3 chapters.
This is the ramblings of a fanboy. when you gotta talk about every single panel.
You know what?
I saw your doom blinking before me, motherfucker.
That wasn't what I was about to say, though.
Go ahead, baby.
That wasn't even close.
Go ahead, baby girl. Lead the way.
No.
What I was about to say.
Go ahead.
Yo, if you go back to the Estarossa versus Tarmin and Sariel fight, if you remember, at one point after they got hit by darkness, they were like reborn into their like a more goddess angel form. So who's to say that won't happen with Lucia in this fight? Maybe next chapter, maybe in a couple of chapters. Who knows? Thing is, he has more forms to burn through. And keep in mind, after Sally and Tariel left their hosts, they were even more powerful. So, Lucia, if you really think about it, it's kind of impressive, given the fact that he's kind of handicapped being what's her name? Margaret.
All I know is I think I finally found out Grimm's original magical power. Absolute ramble. We'll go over all the right? That literally means
you see how they take facts, consecutive facts, and they call it rambling? Try to disregard it? Consecutive facts is what it was.
Get it.
I don't even think Lucio is trash. I just like making fun of him.
Rudesiel is honestly Frieza against a room full of Super Saiyans. I'm sorry. He's Frieza thinking he can take on Super Saiyans, and he can't. That's all he's been proven this whole time. I will speak with you.
Until he's gonna go golden and beat everyone's ass up.
That's what they said about King too.
How?
That's what they said about
He's
King.
about to get his ass kicked.
He's
getting his ass kicked.
Oh, Prince of Darkness! I'll just speed blitz you. How about I just drag your ass over here?
All right.
Needed Escanor to save her ass or his ass, whatever. That's confusing.
That's what they said about King.
And then the only time did anything remotely useful was when Escanor had to beat the magic power that Rudesiel couldn't break through.
That's what they said about King.
To create an opening. That's the only time
Don't you know who you're talking to?
That's what they said about King.
Form on Earth. My word is the word of the greatest life form on Earth. You don't shut up with your broken, no relevance at all. No skill, no ability.
That's what they said about King.
How are you gonna... King's been out here. King's been rough for a minute.
Keep going, bro. Oh, now King's rough.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna move forward.
We're beating a dead horse. Why don't we move on to the Chandler versus Merlin thing? Because we're beating a dead horse here.
Let us.
All right. So, we saw in whenever Maricela used her something vengeance. I forgot what the name of the spell was, but it brought back skeletons that fed on the strength of a special source of dark magic. Merlin was able to combat a few of those skeletons that were stronger with Exterminate Ray, and it cleaved them in half, basically. To see that Chandler can do it as well, this almost confirms that it's a form of demon magic. And this should also explain as to why
Chandler used Exterminate Ray when he fought the Sins, so that was really nothing new.
Yeah. So it kind of does correlate that because she's not a demon, and she may have a smaller version of this or a smaller capacity to commit the same amount of magic. Obviously,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, obviously, our next discussion point is Infinity Enchant. Let's talk about Infinity Enchant.
The greatest technique of all.
Even more broken.
Greatest technique of all time. We got titties out this year, so greatest of all time. Like,
that's your argument.
That is my argument. Yeah, like first Merlin comes through, right? Just hella powerful, right? Telling shit the fuck out of here, and then we get more titty, so it's fine. It's fine. It's magic. Why?
Same fairy tale, man. You cannot use fan service and titties just to excuse brokenness.
I think in this case.
So let me just talk to
Yeah, let's go one at a time, yeah.
for a second, because I wanna preface this. I know there's times they're gonna get mad at what I'm gonna say, right? I don't hate the character Merlin. Merlin's cool. Merlin looks great. All that stuff is fine. I have an issue with how she's being written and how she's being portrayed, because people will tell you Escanor is the best or is the most working character. I never thought that. Always thought it was Merlin. Merlin is like the walking game shark in this series, where it's just like anything you need
That's
to
what
know,
she's supposed to be.
Merlin knows. And you're right in that sense, where it's like you can write a character like that, where it's like a Hibari from like Reborn. He's kind of like that. He just kind of needs to do what he needs to do. The time comes up, but I don't think that it's interesting or fun though. That's my issue. Where it's like, if you're at least gonna do that, it needs to come across in a fun way. Where for me, as a reader, anytime she comes and she's just like, "Oh, I'm magic my way out of it with this and that or the other," it's like, I'm like, come on. I'm never like, okay, that was hype. I'm like, come on, like that's just is a contrivance, and I don't like it. And depending on what you go ahead.
Except for one time that didn't really happen, if you remember, when she thought she had the answer, and she got turned to stone by Garan. So.
But
I would agree with you, but we didn't really have that. And they didn't really escape because of her. They escaped because of Ghost, if I remember correctly.
But wasn't it revealed that she forgot about her blessing that made her immune to the commandments?
It made no goddamn sense. That's a
Yeah,
so that wasn't even her. That's just Nabaka trying to write himself out that hole like that. That doesn't work. I don't buy that. That doesn't work. That's still nonsense.
You really can't say that because a lot of these guys forget a lot of things.
3,000 years have passed.
Oh, come on. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
That's bullshit, Melon.
For somebody that knowledgeable about magic and stuff, like, no, you ain't forget.
She did not forget.
Me
personally, I'm not buying it. I'm not letting you get away with it. You guys can let it go. I will not.
All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, Bond didn't even recognize the spear that was used by King when he stabbed him after meeting him after like 10 years. He's like, you still know who I am? Like, not even like looking at anything. He's like, I don't know who this kid is or this spear that should look familiar to me since it's probably stabbed me a couple times since I like to get into fights with my friends. On a constant basis. Like, it's like, if he can forget like everything about King in like the last 10 years, then I think Merlin might forget at least something in the last 3,000 years. But I do see what you're saying, because like,
would you consider Ban nearly as smart and as knowledgeable?
Yeah, and
Ban couldn't even remember Jericho's name.
Yeah, Bond was.
That argument is incredibly weak. Incredibly.
Bond drinks. Bond drinks a lot.
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second, guys. I want to ask you a question. Previously, from what I understood about Infinity, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the analogy was that if Merlin makes a fire, she can use Infinity, and that fire will never go out. Not that the fire will grow to be as big as it wants. Correct?
Right.
For example, whenever she used her ice cubes on Grey Road, her power Infinity allowed that the ice wouldn't melt. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So maybe it's that she amplified the amount of magic he was putting into the attack, and then added Infinity enchant so that she would have to continue adding more.
I'm not even mad at what she did in this chapter. I'm thinking about what she's going to do in the next chapter. That's what I'm thinking.
Wow, this kid.
Because I'm like it's not gonna be okay with it. I probably.
You know what's
part of the reason why I didn't want to like go too hard on it. Like I put it on Twitter. I'm like, okay, we'll wait the week and see what happens before I really start the discourse. But if next week I get nonsense, we're having a discussion. We're doing this.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, because in Infinity is listed to is that she, no matter how powerful the spell, Merlin only needs to cast it once. Infinity would not be nearly as broken if they didn't also give her, okay, yeah, like Chandler being introduced and having all these great spells, like. She also, like, she's broken because of all the stuff she's been given. All right, I'm immune to the commandments. I'm immune to the breath of bliss. I'm immune to this. I'm immune to that. By the way, I also have an encyclopedia of every single powerful darkness spell in existence alongside Infinity. If she just had Infinity and, like, she was like, I'm using an ability called Exterminate Ray, and Chandler pulled out, that's a baby's tool. I have Nuclear Ray or something like that. then it would be okay. Then she'd be like, oh shit, he's got higher level magic spells than I do. Then it wouldn't be so broken. But the fact of the matter is, she's got every spell Chandler has at his disposal, as far as we're aware, because she's got the damn encyclopedia. She's immune to the commandments. Like, it's just like everything alongside Infinity would not be that broken if she had a limited spell cast,
inventory.
She's got all of them.
That's why I was like, that's what I was gonna point out earlier. That it seems like you guys are talking about the number or the size of her inventory compared to her potency. And I think King is the perfect example of this, where we have a set number. It literally gave us a number of like, the chastity fold has different configurations, and as far as we know, I think there's only like 12 to 13 of them. And what Nakaba's done is that instead of like increase the number of configurations, he just hasn't shown us all of them. And he's had King only use certain ones. So as the story progresses,
He has 10, yeah.
yes, exactly. As the story progresses, we're going to see those other ones, and they won't be an asshole because they've from the beginning it was told that they're there, and it's going to be presented. But the fact that we don't know the capacity of Merlin's, it seems like she can not only add infinity, but that she has infinity spells. And I think that the better grasp we come to that, or the better Nakaba does with showing that she does have limits, the better we'll accept her. But I do agree with that.
There it is. We're like Fang brought up earlier. Yeah, Fang brought up earlier where it's like, you know, that's the point of her character. And there's characters like that then like I could make the argument that Scanner is that type of character too, but I feel like he's handled them so well in the point where it's like he has obvious weak points because he has to fight during the day when the sun is rising, and when he's quote unquote invincible, it's literally for 60 seconds, right? And there's ways to get around it by like turning at night, like how Chandler did, right? There's like some obvious weaknesses where it's like I couldn't even tell you one that Merlin has, and then she's like, they have no weaknesses, so let's just make one. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, like literally that's the problem. Escanor might be OP, but he's got so many limiters placed on him in situational fights that you can work around it. You can still write around him. He's not just the one 24/7. He's not a Joker card like with a pair of aces in your hand all the time. That's what Merlin is. Merlin is, oh, I draw a 2 and a 5. Nope, they're a pair of aces. I win every hand. Like that's all she is. She's a walking Exodia. She's a walking Exodia.
If she was a walking Exodia, wouldn't she have a spell to just, I don't know, snap on the fingers and be high noon all the fucking time?
You know what? She's probably gonna pull that stunt soon.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if she did that. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even surprise me.
She can warp her own time. It's proven. She actually stopped her own time, and she only needs to cast a spell once, and it stays forever. That's what Infinity does. So the fact of the matter is, if she can stop her own time, what's to stop her from dispelling Chandler's Black Knight spell and then casting on the sun, stay noontime?
Good
What's
lord.
to stop her? Nothing's stopping her. Nothing, because she has no boundaries. She might do it.
Probably not, because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I do agree, and like, there's nothing stopping him from doing anything. But I'm assuming that, like, you know, there are just like some things that she probably hasn't learned, only because it's all like, I mean, think about it, right? The Demon Clan was sealed 3,000 years ago. She's been like on the loose for 3,000 years, but I don't think anyone's strong enough to do something as crazy as, hey, gonna turn the day off now, gonna make it night, because
But that's what Chandler did.
Well, hold on. We're getting into a
I don't think
territory.
there's anyone as strong as done something like that in the last 3,000 years, save for Chandler. That's what I'm
Hold on,
trying to say.
we're getting into a
She's
territory.
tough, but like there's some things that she can't do.
Yeah, yes. Like, we have to reiterate, when you question this aspect, don't go too far, because there is an integrity to the magic in Taizai. Like, there's not. Chandler's night thing is the only example of space-time warping. Besides the teleportation stuff, things like that, the powers in Taizai do not get like extra dimensional or crazy and shit like that. It's all consistent within a certain magic base. Whenever something there's a how do I put this? You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Like there's an underlying rule base to how magic works in Taizai. Like you require magic
Except for Merlin.
Yeah,
Hey,
except for Merlin.
Why do you listen? That's her attribute. Leave it alone, okay? Leave it alone.
Listen,
Like I said, you could enjoy it. I'm just talking about like my personal enjoyment of having to see this, because as somebody who has literally studied literature in post-secondary, it bothers me from a writing standpoint. I'm trying to just enjoy it for what it is, but it like a nagging voice in my ear, like, you know it's trash, like they're telling me.
You know what the real problem is, it's like making Goku a Super Saiyan at the beginning of Dragon Ball. It breaks all of the Dragon Ball story because you've introduced someone too strong for the show at the time. It just doesn't. It's too soon for that level of power. At least that's my opinion.
Wasn't that Taizai from like chapter 1 in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were limiters placed on everything. She's got no damn limiter. Her only thing is
there was not.
Listen, this man Meliodas probably walked into the kingdom and took out everyone from the get-go.
Yeah, he could have. We know that.
Yeah.
Like every literally every time the sins, each one was like another Saiyan dropping, and then the Ten Commandments came through. It was like 10 more Saiyans just dropped.
Yeah, but they were on opposite sides, so that made it fair.
Here's the thing, right? Because like, okay, I don't know if the same thing works. I think it's a multiplier, if I remember correctly. So like, if you're weak and you multiply by that, I don't know if it works. But like the thing about like Merlin that makes it very hard for me to be like, it's fine, is because she's entirely too smart and wise. That's the issue. She knows a lot of shit. So like, you can say what you want about like Meliodas. Yeah, he's mad strong, but like Zeldra said, if he's fighting someone strong, he's fucking arrogant. That's how he got beat by ESCANOR, quote unquote, because Zelda's like, okay, you're probably toying around with him. Like, he's arrogant, you know? Other characters may not be that smart, even though they're powerful. Like, she's just knowledgeable, strong, old, wise.
Yeah,
everything. 2,000 years of constant research will do that to you.
Yeah, but she's like, what she is basically giving Kisuke Urahara, Sosuke Aizen's power. That'd be broken, because you have the smartest character in the series that thinks 1,000 ways to do any action at any second, and then you give them broken amount of power. There's no storyline there, because you've actually broken a problem. Because the fact of the matter is, our only example was her forgetting the slaughter of her entire city, and the fact that she met the 2 gods of the realm. And you expect me to believe she forgot that little
No,
detail?
she didn't forget that. She forgot how to the spell commandments. And then second, that wasn't her only fuck up, if you remember. She also got turned back into her child form by Chandler the first time he attacked. So,
but she should, because Chandler should be so much more OP. Chandler should be a way stronger mage than Merlin. And so far, what we're seeing is she's matching him for some reason.
Because she's the great.
Yeah, because she's broke. She has affinity. That's why.
At the end of the day, I'm not saying I hate the character or anything. I expect him to do a little better with this, because it's just the writing is just not clicking with. It's not
honestly, I think it was like two or three chapters ago when this fight started and Merlin pulled off a regular normal looking spell. What was it? Like double impact. I was like, okay, that's pretty that's pretty cool. It's pretty low level, nothing too crazy. And then Merlin just amplify, just amplifies her attack. Like power amplify is a legitimate spell that she uses to increase someone's power from their attack. It's like, if she couldn't pull something off like that with Infinity, at least to me, it's all the title greatest mage in Britannia, witch, archmage, whatever you want to call it, in Britannia. If she isn't match up to someone from way back in the day, because the whole point is that 2,000 years ago they had tough opponents. Now it's we're the best of the best that we've got at this current point in time, facing off against legends.
And this is the only way to introduce magic.
But Chandler was introduced to not only break something. Remember, Escanor and Meliodas fought inside the perfect cube, and she wasn't worried. It didn't even crack. Meanwhile, Chandler just walks up. Yeah, no, forget this. Forget the perfect cube. Oh, by the way, forget you're
no. That's what I was saying earlier. That whenever we talk about this, you have to be mindful of what you're talking about, because those are the integrity of spells in Taizai. In Seven Deadly Sins, certain spells do things absolutely. A perfect cube, you're not gonna break it with physical force. It's not gonna happen. Absolute cancel literally removes magic, so it's gonna break that. That's what I'm saying. Certain things are just going to do that thing. Power amplify is just going to amplify your thing. That within itself is the limit. In certain series, we're gonna go to the power scaling rules. In for literature, the power scaling rule is that your weakness is more important than the power. You always have to do that, and that's the problem with Merlin. That we don't know her clear weakness. We can't define it, and her power is so great that we're seeing it as too much. But she does indeed have limits to it. It's like you guys pointed out. She fucks up several times. Things like that happen. He may explain it off in a certain way, but whenever you question this aspect of it, you have to be mindful because she's the only way where we get magic introduced vividly in Seven Deadly Sins. The rest of it is a certain nigga's special spell or something like that, or their innate power. So the mages are the ways that we're going to get wide-ranging spells and shit, and they're going to do a lot. We're blessed to only have Merlin and Vivian and fucking and Chandler doing shit like this. That's consistent.
I do get that, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with, once again, is the fact that Infinity doesn't make her power like God strong. All it does is make it so she can cast any spell without any like if she's got a mana pool, her mana pool has an infinity sign next to it. She can cast any spell no matter how much power it would normally take. It doesn't matter. She's got infinity. And yes, power amplify works. But as we saw, they both cast the same spell, except Chandler's was fucking monstrous in size in comparison. And one little Merlin, power amplify with no struggle. Like, if there was a struggle, it might be something, but no struggle, just, oh yeah, my tiny little beam, my tiny little Kamehameha versus your fucking spirit bomb size thing. Power amplify, boom, I'm gonna take, no, see, it's to me, that's inconsistent because Infinity and one power amplify spell should not be able to match that.
Wait. But then you also forget the fact that she's also using her sacred treasure. And like Sin's power is like awakened from their sacred, like it's like fully like realized through a sacred treasure. So it's like her original magical power plus her sacred treasure versus Chandler. I mean, again, this is the greatest mage in Britannia versus like one of the strongest demons
versus the legend. So all I'm saying is I'm okay. Like, if that had gone down, I'm okay with it. Not okay with it, but let's say it went down. We should have seen her struggle. There should have been like the beam struggle, classic Dragon Ball Z style. There should have been. We should have seen some sweat, a grimace, something. The fact that she's just snapping her fingers and treating that like it's child's play, that's what bothers me about it. She doesn't seem to struggle at all. If she was struggling, it'd be like, okay, if she's coming out on top, that's fine. Still a little broken. But the fact that she's snapping her fingers and doing shit to the greatest of all demon mages, or bar none, the greatest mage that we've introduced in the story, and she's doing that with the snap of her fingers, it's kind of for me.
I'll only disagree, just real quick. I'll only disagree because remember, they were already struggling with Zelders in the first place, and she already said that, all right, fuck it, I'm not going to make any more mistakes. I'm going to fucking do my best to fucking keep away and play this game smart. And then from there, she hasn't taken any real damage since. She's been, again, playing it safe, playing it smart. She hasn't made mistakes since ESCANOR went into the 1. She said it herself. Like, again, we've already established that she's been caught up and she's tripped up several times. But the matter of the fact is that, like we said before, she's also very knowledgeable. She may not have, like, she may not be like the most physically strong individual, obviously, but like, again, like, there's more to Merlin that obviously, like, we will get next chapter. I do agree with Naya, like, her powers and how broken she is. Like, I'm more worried about what she'll do next chapter than what she's done now, because, like, right now this is pretty tame compared to what she could do if, like, Nagabo would be like, you know what, I'll just shit all over this page, just all of this chapter, and like the next chapter is coming up. It's like Merlin can do all this shit now.
Next chapter, if we just see her struggle,
hold on, we gotta move.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get moving. All right, so let's get to the fan service. From top to bottom, any titties or ass you want to point out?
Yeah, there was let's see, it was a page. It was the third to last, fourth to last. You had Ludashell and Margaret's body, all the
page 17.
tear-ups. Page 17, all the tear-ups and everything. Nice cleave, nice.
The blood and shit, and then the hair wild. No homo. Hashtag no homo.
Nice add-on. Also last, just like
no, bro. You don't get two.
What?
Yeah, bro.
I don't know why my name was dropped.
I think it was you who said it, right? Talk about last page. Merlin,
Kishin.
I was just the wicked face.
Yeah,
She's really
the side boob
portraying the witch in this page.
Yeah, that is pretty. She looks
You
cute as
get a
fuck,
little
though.
cleavage.
No
And a
doubt.
little side boob.
Is that side or under?
Maybe
going-
both.
I'm gonna go a couple pages above it, and I'm gonna say the one where we see Margaret and Merlin in the same shot, and we're just seeing that cleavage. Where she says, Merlin, what happened to those goods? Nothing working power. We got double titties in there, man. Double titties.
Damn, bruh. I was gonna say that too, man. Fuck.
Ah, there. See, you're speaking my language.
What else? I think that's about it.
What are we on now? Sorry, I had to get food.
That's titty shot.
That's the double window.
Page 17, man.
All right, and then since we checked that out, let's go from
Zeldris' goat. Zeldris' titties.
We're looking for cleavage. Not...
Look at the pecs.
Let's go from top to bottom, and then your favorite panel of the chapter, panel of the week. Fang.
Huh. You know, the headbutt, like the ramification of the headbutt, that blood, that was fucking dope. So I'm gonna take that one as my favorite.
All right. What about you, Zarso? Or who's next? Let me see.
I can go. We can do it in order.
Oh yeah, it's Griever. Yeah.
I was gonna same thing. The headbutt was really cool, and I kind of like the fight. But if I had to pick, I really like the darkened silhouettes of seeing both Napping and Pacifier Demon. When they say they're extremely strong, extremely fast, all that stuff. And we see them both grinning. That side by side panel, man, that looks deadly. That looks dark. I'm like, that made me hype. I was happy to see it. I was like, I want to see these two kick some fucking ass.
Hell yeah, bro. They kind of got me hype, low-key. All right. What's up, Kishin?
That last panel, the more I look at it, the more I like it. The plus we get a little ESCANOR. He's like, this is why I love this woman. I have chosen the right one. So, yeah, the only thing that ruins it for me is the text that they put right there.
Oh, yeah, man.
Other than that, it's perfect.
That is a pretty, it's fucking...
Zeldris.
Nigga, which one, bro? Where he's holding his wounds? Where he's holding his wounds?
What are you talking about? You're kind of cute in that panel. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of fucking.
That's the one I'm choosing.
Garbage. Absolute garbage.
Looking like a sweeter man. You dig?
Hey, that's gay. That's gay.
That's big gay.
That's big gay. It's big gay.
What's up?
18.
For me, it's probably Ludishel and Cusack gearing up to fight because it's all like the lightsaber and the two black swords. Like just that right there, I was like, yeah. Like,
with the wings,
bro. Like I saw like those three panels, and I'm like, the next page fucking have me fucking like busting nuts. and the next page, I was like, yep, absolutely lost it. No, November. What was that?
You talking about the one where like there's a black background and then Rudisell pops out the arc blade?
Yeah.
The end of right at end of the stance right after that, right up.
I fail, yo, bro. Deadass. This page here literally made me fail. Not November. Like it's over. Like it's over. Like I give up.
Yo, I wanna
never do it again.
I wanna commend how well Nakaba, like, bro, like, straight up, dog. This shit, I agree 100%, bro.
But I do want to just quickly refer back to what Naya said earlier. I've seen Nakaba do, or at least illustrate, fighting sequences, and I do want to say that this one does seem less spectacular than those prior two, because those at least seemed a bit more fluid. This one seems a bit everywhere, but I get it. They're moving faster, so there's a lot of things that are kind of inhuman. So it's like things that I probably couldn't see myself doing because I probably wouldn't be moving so fast enough to pull it off. But other than that, yeah, like those two, the best ones. But for the most part, yeah, that one page with the three panels, that's probably my favorite.
I think mine was probably along that same sequence. When Rudisell, we actually see the clash with like the big ass spread and whatever, with like Chandler and then Cusack, with Cusack and Rudisell, where like you see all the explosion from like all the clashing they just did right underneath the
heat vision. I forgot about that one. That one was raw. Sorry, keep going.
I thought he was using his mustache when I first thought.
Yeah,
Because it was such a small panel.
Me too. Yeah.
Fucking trash.
Like, it's finally happening.
Y'all niggas are trash as
I
fuck.
told you that mustache was gonna be A. A game. Bring the A game.
Fucking.
But sadly not today.
But yeah, that was probably the best panel. And then also the actual sequence itself, like that was, I agree, bro. Like that shit was top notch, my nigga. Like he'll body every other nigga around, bro. Like every nigga around here, he'll body, bro. Tighten the fuck up. Like tighten the fuck up, bro. Whole ass niggas.
It was a good sequence. That's all I said. I didn't say. I said
Grace Flash.
You mean Trash Flash?
The clash between fucking Chandler and Merlin too, bro. From the top view, whenever we got that view from there, that shit looks fucking exquisite, my nigga. Like I'm about this shit, bro. I always wanted to see them go at it like that. Like dispel the spell, and I guess this is the first chapter that we're gonna get it.
Probably get way more now that the focus is off as Eldris Escanor. We'll probably get more of that.
Which is definitely needed because let's be honest now, Escanor
was gonna die.
Escanor's yes, he's gonna die, but Escanor fights is like, dude, it's like there's so much hype that builds up to his fights, and then it's like after you get his fight, it's like it just leaves you just like high and dry, just like all abused. Like you just feel kind of Escanor fight. That's how I feel, honestly. I feel you because yo, every chapter after Escanor fights, what is there? Just oh yeah, you know, last chapter. Oh man, Escanor just fucking wrecked everything. This chapter, we're gonna get this fight with these characters. All right, whatever. Let's who's fighting? Oh, Merlin and Commandments. All right, Merlin. Oh, Merlin washed them. All right, whatever. Oh, who's fighting next? Hendrickson versus Frodrin. All right, that's cool. You know,
Just going down the list.
Cyrus came through. Oh, that's fine. Is what it is, man. Oh, Melios came back to kill Frodrin. Oh, whatever, dude. That Escanor fight, bro. That Escanor fight. Man. Oh, Escanor versus Meliodas. Oh, excuse me.
Wait a minute! Don't forget. We're in Christmas time, so Escanor's original magical power got to be given. We got 4 in the last couple weeks. We need another one.
Stop,
Hey, maybe it's that inner sun.
Moonshine.
Moonshine.
Moonshine. Love shine, baby, love shine.
All right, guys. That was it for this week's 290 Boar Chat podcast. Lord Bruticil led the way. We about to get it popping next week with 291. Unlike Oda fucking trash pie, bitch ass nigga, we don't go on break every 13 seconds, motherfucker. We're gonna complete this story and shit.
That doesn't make sense because they forced him to take the break. But do you think?
Oh, they forced him to take a break.
I respect it.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, bro. Fuck that nigga, dog. Fuck that nigga.
You do not disrespect the Goda.
Fuck that nigga.
Get him. Get him.
Hashtag trash, bro.
All right.
It was an amazing chapter, contrary to what these haters like to say. If you guys like what...
7, I'm a hater. Oh my god, that's terrible.
7 out of 10. It's still a passing grade, motherfucker.
Oh shit! If you guys want your comments read next week in next week's podcast, we're gonna take one comment that's really, really thoughtful of your opinion of the chapter. If you put a hashtag Grace Flash right there, so hashtag Grace Flash to your summary of the chapter, and we're gonna read that shit at the beginning of the next podcast. We're gonna roast your ass too, bro. So spell correctly, motherfucker.
How about hashtag Season of the Witch?
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Hashtag Zeltrus.
Stop it. You.
Omnibus Nebula!
Stop it. He's done. No more.
I'm in Nebula to go.
Nebula, boy, sit down.
Redesial gay confirmed. Hashtag.
You know what? No, we'll change it to Infinity Enchant. So, in the description, guy, or in the comment section, hashtag Infinity Enchant or Enchant Infinity, whichever one you want to, and we'll read your shit next chapter, bro. Oh my!
Leave it in.
So she said, "Yo!" Yo!
One Piece is the best.